What's cracking, Jack? It's Sunday, January 25th, and you're in the jungle. 8 games on tap in the association. I've got them all for you right here, right now. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the jungle. We're going to break down all 8 games in the NBA. I'll give you my best side or total and a player prop in each game. Now, treat it like a menu. Take what you want and leave what you don't. If you're looking to bet what I'm betting, if you want to roll with what I'm rolling with today and every day, you can do that by becoming a member at silverbackjungle.com or texting free trial to the number on your screen and taking advantage of my free membership trial offer. If you want just my single best bet for today only, you can do that for just $5. It's called my $5 favorite, and the link for it is in the comments section. Yesterday's $5 favorite was the Wolves minus 5.5. They didn't play that game, however, because of the tomfoolery in Minnesota. Let me know in the comments section, do you think they'll get that game in today? I hope they do. So we're starting today in Detroit, the Motor City, Sacramento plus 13.5, a hefty number, taking on the Pistons over under 226.5. A big number, but I would lay it with the Pistons. It's a focus spot for Detroit coming off of a home loss. The Kings struggle offensively, 28th in scoring, and Detroit's the number 2 scoring defense. They're second in 2-point field goal percentage allowed, third in 3-point field goal percentage allowed, first in blocks, first in steals, and first in assist to turnover ratio. It seems like a big number, and it is, but in 3 of Sacramento's last 3 games, all 3 of them, they lost by 17, 13, and 13. I would take the Pistons minus the 13.5, and I like Asar Thompson of Detroit over 5.5 rebounds. You know, it's sitting on most books for plus money right now, and it's a number that he's been over in 75% of his last 20 games, and Sacramento gives up the 6th most rebounds in the association. We got Denver plus 4.5 at Memphis. The over-under is 222.5. The Nuggets will be without Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown, and most likely Peyton Watson and Jamal Murray. It seems like the Nuggets are kind of punting in this game. Now, those two status isn't certain yet, so don't quote me on that, but I think they'll be out. John Moran, of course, out for the Grizzlies. Picking a side is here almost impossible. So what I'm going to do is attack the total, and we're going over 222.5. This is a number that 55% of Denver games in the last 20 and 75% of Grizzlies games have hit. And I know their stars are out, but we've been in this situation before, and I've mentioned that when key players and superstar players in the NBA are out, the common thought is to look to the under. But in reality, the over is in play, and the over hits more often than the under does. Most NBA players can score in their sleep, even the deep bench players. When they get the chance to play, they tend to show up and show out, and the offense and the effort is there on the offensive side of the court. So we're going 222.5 over, and his line's not out yet, but I would consider Bruce Brown of Denver over his PRA. Golden State plus 6.5 at Minnesota if we get it in. Over under 235.5. I like the Wolves minus the points. Golden State's a bad road team, just 8-14 straight up away from home, and 1-4 against the spread without Jimmy Buckets. Minnesota beat them once this season in Golden State as a 5-point underdog. The Wolves are 15-7 at home. They're a physical team, the kind of team that possesses problems for the Golden State Warriors. Minnesota minus the 6.5 is the play, and I like Jaden McDaniels over 17.5 points plus assists. He's over this line in 5 consecutive games with a median of 22. And remember, if you're new to the channel, we talk medians in the jungle, not averages. It's a better indicator of how a player performs on the regular. Dallas plus 1.5. This game is goddamn awful. Dallas plus 1.5 at Milwaukee. The over-under 220.5. Giannis out for the Bucks. Something has to give here, guys, because Dallas is 2-9 straight up their last 11 road games, and the Bucks are 3-11 with Giannis. Not my favorite game on the board, but the only reasonable thing to do here is back Milwaukee from a handicap standpoint because they're at home, and Dallas is on the second leg of a back-to-back. Everything else being shitty as can be on both ends, we have to play the reasonable handicap of the fresh home team, and I consider Bobby Portis over 16.5 points. Pelicans plus 11.5 at San Antonio. Over under 239.5. Both teams coming in pretty healthy. This is the fourth and final meeting of this season between these two teams. New Orleans has covered the spread in all three other games, and this is tied for the biggest spread these two teams have played with against each other. In game one of this series this season, Spurs won by 4 as a 4.5-point favorite. Second game, Spurs won by 7 as an 11-point favorite, and game 3, the Spurs won by 3 as a 9-point favorite. 11.5 is a number that the Pelicans have covered in 9 of their last 10 games, and the Spurs have covered in just 4 of their last 10. I would have to take the points with the Pelicans, and I like Julian Champagnie of San Antonio over 10.5 points. He's crushed this line without Devin Vassell in the lineup. Now, Vassell is back, but should be on a pretty considerate minutes restriction, so Champagnie's going to remain in the starting lineup, and he should get the minutes at least this game to go up and over this point total. Toronto plus 11.5 at Oklahoma City. The over-under 224.5. Thunder coming off that brutal, embarrassing home loss to the Pacers. This is a focus spot for the Thunder, but 11.5 requires too much focus, in my opinion, against the Raptors. It's a number that Toronto has covered in 80% of their games this season and in 13 of their last 15. I would take the points with Toronto. It's too many. And I like Scotty Barnes over 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's over this line in 7 of his last 10 with a median of 37 per game. Miami plus 4.5 at Phoenix, over under 226.5. Devin Booker out for the Suns. Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware out for the Heat, and Davion Mitchell's questionable. Even without Booker, I like the Suns minus the points. Phoenix is 22-5 against the spread their last 27 games when lined as a favorite, and they're actually 6-4 against the spread their last 10 without Devin Booker. This is Miami's 5th straight road game in 7 days across the country in 2 different time zones. Lay the 4.5 with the Suns. It's a good spot for them. And consider Grayson Allen over 17.5 points. In the last game on the docket, Brooklyn plus 8.5 at the Clippers. The over-under 210.5. Kawhi Leonard questionable with an illness. I think this line is too low, guys. January 9th, I said the same thing with these two teams. They played in Brooklyn. I took a lot of slack for it in the comments section. They played in Brooklyn because they're two low-scoring teams. The line was 214.5. I thought it was too low. We hit the total and smashed. They went over 220. They went to 226. Now the line is 4 points lower, and we're taking it again. Obviously, they're two slow-paced, low-scoring teams, but 7 of the Nets' last 10 games have gone over this number, and 8 of the Clippers' last 10. And again, the last time they played, they got to 226. Over 210.5 is the play. And I like Nick Claxton of Brooklyn over 18.5 points plus rebounds. Let me know your favorite NBA plays of the day in the comment section, and I'll see you tomorrow with a little more money in your pocket.